The reality is that Angola is a proven hydrocarbon basin with a long history of production, and that bodes well in terms of creating the runway and running room for longevity for future developments. Further than that, I would say technology has advanced quite a bit, and so if you think about subsurface imaging or data processing, there's been leaps and bounds in that space that allows to better characterize the various reservoirs and eventually inform better exploration decisions, as we have already demonstrated in some other of our basins in the Atlantic margin, in fact. And so that is what I would say is attractive from a geology perspective. But it's not enough, right? You need the attractiveness above ground as well. And so I couldn't start without mentioning the regulatory reform and the framework that AMPG and the ministry, Mir and Pet, have put together in really enhancing the competitiveness and attractiveness of the sector, whether it's through the fiscals and or the licensing rounds, or even the way that they collaboratively engage with the operators. So that goes a very long way. If I think more broadly, I would say also the government has taken quite a number of steps to increase sort of the macro stability and the transparency. So if you think about them joining the EITI initiative, for example, those are all very strong signals for investors. And last but not least, I would mention that Angola indeed already has an established sector, right? And so it has infrastructure, it has a supply chain, it has an existing competent workforce. Those are all elements that you could tap into for an efficient development. And so between above ground and below ground, we do think that Angola has a lot of potential. Broadly, we are in the evaluation phase at the moment. And so this is a phase where you start with effectively looking at the prospectivity, right? So really trying to understand, how promising the geology is, using some of the existing data, but also acquiring new data, which will help us then determine where we would like to have an exploration and appraisal campaign, which ultimately would lead to prospective final investment decisions, right? No, we're very excited to join the conference this year again, and it's for us first and foremost a great opportunity to reaffirm our engagement to Angola and to be a long-term partner for the sector and for the government as we embark on this journey, which includes a number of opportunities that need to be matured over the coming years and decades. At the same time, it's also very important that we listen and that we learn, right, from this ecosystem, whether it's the government, indeed, the regulator, the partners, but also very much the supply chain, so that we could eventually join forces and also understand what opportunities exist, particularly in the local content space. And finally, a conference isn't a good conference if we haven't built, expanded or deepened relationships, because ultimately we look to collaborate very much with all the different players to continue to enhance the attractiveness and the competitiveness of the sector at large.